Okay. Hello, my name is Jackson Martinez, and I'm going to be demonstrating 3 compound exercises that are for strength development for athletes, for lower body power and pushing strength. We have first, I'm going to demonstrate the bench press, then the squat, and then the deadlift here to my mock client, Brayden. And yeah, I will demonstrate the movements, and then I will coach them to my mock client, and then I will evaluate how their form is, and then I will say the different tests and measures that you can do for the different movements. So for the setup for the bench press, we have the bar set up here on the pegs, and you have the bench centered with the bar, and you want to set it up so that it's at about eye level here, a little bit below eye level. And to start, you want to make sure you are far enough away so that when you lay down, you're not going to hit your head on the bar. So you lay down, get your eyes level. I like to place my thumb at like the edge of this knurling for the length of the grip. Make sure it's even on each side. And then I like to lift up on the bar to engage my lats. I depress and retract my scapula to further engage my lats. I make sure my legs are firmly pressing into the ground, and then you lift up like that, and then you pull the bar a little bit forward about to like your breastplate or where your nipple line is, and you lower the bar down here, and then you press up. The bar path is a little bit curved, so it starts like about at your nipple line and then it goes right below. It's like a C-shaped curve kind of. Okay, some common errors in this are going too high with the bar and like pressing here. Another thing people can do wrong is not having your feet aligned, or not having your feet engaged, or not having your lats engaged, your traps and lats engaged. And that is it for the demonstration. So Brayden is going to sit near the edge of the bench to make sure he doesn't hit his head on the way down. And he's going to follow the steps that I outlined. He's going to put his thumbs at the edge of the knurling, his thumbs flat, and then at the edge. Wrap his fingers, wrap his thumbs around it. Nice. Okay, go ahead. He's going to engage his lats and his traps. His feet are planted well. And he's going to begin the movement, controlling the eccentric. Okay, nice. And evaluating the movement, he's maybe a little bit too far down with the bar at the top. And I would say that his grip is a little bit closer than what I like, but it doesn't change the movement in a meaningful, like harmful way. So that's fine. And that is the bench press. So some applicable test measures for the bench press are the push-up endurance test, where you do as many push-ups as you can in a minute, and that's how you get your raw score for that. And then another test that you can do on this is a estimated 1 rep max test. So you set a weight, and then you see how many reps they can do. But the closer to like one rep, the more accurate the test is going to be. So if you put 135 on there and you can do 10, you put it through a algorithm, and then it'll pop out a 1 rep max estimate. Next, we have the deadlift, and for demonstration purposes, I put 225s on there. And there are 3 phases that I'm going to go through. I'm going to go through the setup phase, the ascent phase, and the descent phase. So first, for setup, you want to put your feet like about shoulder width, maybe a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. You want to kind of align the bar with like the tips of your shoelaces, or like where your like the ball of your feet begins, like kind of at your midfoot almost. You're gonna about 1.5 inches, 2 inches away from the start of the knurling is what I like. You're gonna place your hands here. You're going to hinge a little bit. You're going to engage your core, engage your lats, and take kind of like the slack out of the bar. And then from there, you just stand up. So that's the ascent phase. And the descent phase, you hinge at the hips, and you don't bend your knees until the bar passes your knees. And then you stand up again. So you hinge, passes the knees down, and you stand up. Just like that. The target muscles for this movement are the glutes, the hamstrings, the quads, and the rector spinae. So Brayden's gonna grab the bar, engage his core, stand up, He's gonna begin the descent phase by hinging, and then up. He's keeping the bar close, that's good. Nice. Some common errors for the deadlift. You wanna come in front here and back up. Our knee valgus is one of them. So knee valgus is, let's say when you press up, your knees kind of come in like that. That's knee valgus. And a cue to stop that is to think about screwing your feet into the ground like that and almost pressing out, and that'll activate your hip adductors. Some relevant tests and measures for the deadlift would be the FMS screening, so a functional movement screening, and then another one would be the hamstring, like the hamstring flexibility test, to make sure that they have the proper mobility to complete the movement. So next we have the barbell back squat. For this, the setup phase is setting the bar at a height, I would say like right above your nipple line, like where your breastplate is here. And for setup, you want to place your hands, it depends on your shoulder mobility. So some people have to go wider, narrower. I like going about 2.5 inches away from the knurling. And then you get your grip firm and you go underneath the bar, putting the bar on the meat of your traps here. And then from here, you get your feet hip width apart, or shoulder width apart, hip width apart, and you stand up. You take 1 step back. You don't want to take more than 1 step because that can make you susceptible to becoming off balance. You keep your chest tall, you look straight in front of you, and you want to avoid on the descent rounding your back or coming too far over your toes. You want to sit into your hips, and you want to control the eccentric descent. So you come down, you want to go to at least 90 degrees, or like your femur or your thigh bone parallel with the ground. So right there, and then up, or letting your knees come too far forward over your toes. And that's the squat. He set his hands up well. His back is in a good position. Nice, good depth. No knee valgus. His knees are tracking properly. He's looking straight, he's tall, he's controlled, and I would say that's a picture-perfect squat. I don't really have any cues for Braden there. He did very good. It looked very powerful, very strong. Measures related to this would be an overhead squat assessment. So I would have my client here put their hands up like this and perform a squat. And I'm checking for proper knee alignment, upright torso, shoulder mobility. And then another one would be just a jump assessment. So have them do like a squat jump and assess how evenly the power is distributed, whether they have knee valgus, how their landing mechanics are, and that can just like assess the power output of their lower extremities.